For more on the rise in tension on college campuses as protests continue, we wanted to speak to students who can share their take on what's happening on their campus. We're joined now by two students from Columbia University. First up is Nadia Ali. She's a PhD student who is a pro-Palestinian demonstrator. And Parker Deker, he's a freshman and he's also Jewish. Nadia, I want to start with you. Talk to me about why you support the pro-Palestinian protest on campus right now in Columbia.
Sure. So I, like many people around the world, have been very saddened by the appalling violations of human rights in Gaza and by the mounting death toll and the mobilization of students in solidarity with the Palestinian people and their call for justice, their call for peace, and for an end to ceasefire, for the respect of human rights, for the respect of international law, has been a source of comfort and a source of hope for me and many others on campus.
Are you satisfied with the way it's played out, or has it gotten out of control?
I think it's important to keep in mind that the protesters here are striving to draw attention to what is happening and to call for the respect of human rights. I think I am kind of honored to feel that mobilization on campus, but certainly I want to relate kind of also the angst felt by students who have been suspended for speaking for the ceasefire and the end of violence.
Parker, you're actually at your home right now. You're not on campus because you temporarily have left Columbia. I know you were on campus wearing your yarmulke last week when you were verbally attacked for being Jewish. Can you share more about that experience and what it's been like being Jewish right now on Columbia's campus?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me here today, Tom. So last week, Wednesday, obviously our president of the university, President Shafiq, testified in front of Congress regarding anti-Semitism. And this drew a lot of strain from the Jewish community as we felt that she wasn't saying enough to Congress and she wasn't fully telling the full picture of what was going on. So our campus Chabad that evening was actually having an event to bring together the Jewish community to show us support. And so I was planning on going to that. And so I was leaving my dorm and walking to the Chabad house. Keep in mind, at this point, there was only a few entrances in which we could leave campus on. And so as I was walking by, I was walking through one of the protests, and I was told to keep on testifying, you effing Jew. Ironically, I wasn't in any of the testimonies or in any of the press conferences that were held at Capitol Hill that day or in the month prior when Jewish students went to testify in front of the House Committee for Education and the Workforce. Yet I was still yelled at. And then so afterwards, I took off my yarmulke, put it in my pocket, and then continued walking over to the Chabad house. The day after, a Jewish student was seeking help moving out because of everything going on campus with rises in anti-Semitism, continued calls for Jews to not be welcome on our university, particularly outside of the gates of the university on 116th and Broadway. And so as I was helping this Jewish student move out and helping carry their things out to the road, we were yelled at and told, "We are so happy you Zionists are finally leaving campus, and you wouldn't have to leave if you weren't a supporter of genocide." Then on Friday, I was already planning on departing campus for a work event that I already had pre-scheduled. But as I was leaving campus, going out through the other gate on 116th in Amsterdam, this individual and protester out in front of the gate used an anti-Semitic slur, the K slur, and told me, "UK, keep on walking. It's time for you to leave." And so they've told me these things, and I don't feel safe or welcome on campus because the only identifier that I am Jewish is my yarmulke and my Star of David necklace. And that's the only thing which would associate me with any of these causes. I'm not walking around with an Israeli flag or anything else, taking a political stance in these protests. It's simply a symbol of my Judaism. That seems to be the issue.
So Nadia, Parker, and I appreciate your honesty and you coming on this show and telling us exactly what's been happening. So Nadia, what do you have to say about that? I mean, no student should have to go through that. We're talking about Columbia University, which is in an area that is heavily Democratic, I should point out, an Ivy League institution where people are spending $90,000 to send their kids there or taking out loans to go there. And you have a fellow student who doesn't even feel safe.
I think Palestinians would be the first to relate to that pain and
Are you okay with everything he's gone through?
Absolutely not. And it's unacceptable to feel unsafe on campus. But it's important not to conflate the call for justice and peace with anti-Semitic actions or hate speech. In fact,
but it seems like the line's being blurred, Nadia. That's why I wanted to have you on the show, because it seems like the line's being blurred.
The line is being blurred, and there's unfortunately a misportrayal. One should not conflate the call for the respect of human rights and international law with hate speech. And in fact, if you look around the entrance of the lawn where the students are, there are guidelines for respecting one another, respecting university staff, the rest of the student body, the physical space that the students are in. They're really trying to create a space for empathy, for dialogue, and for respect for one another.
So what do you think's happened?
Unfortunately, we've lost track of the main message of the protest. It's a fundamentally peaceful message. It's a call for an end to the killing of innocent lives, and it's actually inspired by other historic protests on Columbia's campus, including demonstrations against the Vietnam War in the 60s, demonstrations against apartheid in the 80s. It's a peaceful message.
Why do you think that message has gotten lost?
It's unfortunate, you know, the people who carry out hateful actions are not condoned by the protest, and they are not recognized as part of the community. Do you think they're students? Do
you think they're people that have just come in and sort of made their way into these protests?
They might be, but I can tell you for sure that the students who are speaking out for Palestinian rights are carrying a message of peace, fundamentally a message of peace, and they have clear guidelines for how to do that. They're trying to do it in a thoughtful way, and they would not, under any circumstances, condone any actions that would put another student at risk.
Nadia, we wanted to have you and Parker on at the same time because one of the things we've seen is that both sides aren't talking because there's so much screaming, there's so much yelling, there's anti-Semitism, kids don't feel safe. You can talk to Parker right now live. What would you want him to understand about your point of view?
Parker, I want you to know that it is absolutely unacceptable for any student to feel unsafe on campus, and I want you to know that Palestinians and allies of Palestinians would relate to that pain and would absolutely know what it's like to feel intimidated and to have their identity stigmatized, and that is absolutely unacceptable. And there is common ground here, which is a call for an end to violence, a call for an end to the death toll. I think that, you know, you can trust that Palestinians know exactly what it's like to be intimidated and to not feel safe on campus, and that is not how it should be.
Parker, what would you like to say?
I would like to say that I think there has also been a level of hate that has come from our side of the aisle as well. And the rise in Islamophobia on Columbia's campus is also incredibly unaccepted. And the rise in overall hatred on our campus is unacceptable. I think I'll be the first to say, coming from those students who speak for the Jewish community, who speak for the individuals supporting Israel, we also want to condemn the high amounts of harassment and violent rhetoric that's being put at individuals, specifically protesters going on. I think a lot of times this issue becomes incredibly heated. It's very emotionally charged with individuals having many families in Israel, having personal associations, and feeling themselves when they hear calls in which they say they don't want Jews on campus or they don't want Zionists on campus. There's a lot of Jews who feel that Zionism is inextricably combined with their identities. And so a lot of times people feel that those calls in and of themselves don't welcome conversation. But I also want to let you know that I don't want violence in the Middle East. I don't want violence in Gaza. I don't want the loss of innocent life. And I, just like you, want an end to this war because this going on isn't productive. It's not helping anyone and it's not moving us forward. I think what's really important is that we continue having dialogue like this that's managed and it's built with a mutual assured respect between individuals. And it's focusing on the fact that we do share struggles and inabilities, and we share marginalization, but that we can partner together in these experiences to want to fight the issues of Islamophobia, of anti-Semitism, of violence, and rhetoric which specifically marginalizes communities together.
So, Nadia, I've learned more just from your conversation with Parker than from seeing any of the videos online, all over social media of all these protests. Why can this happen here, but it can't happen on campus? Do you blame the faculty? Has the faculty sort of lost control of the situation?
I think, unfortunately, things get heated on campus and students can lose track of what is really important here. But I'm glad to have this opportunity to show that ultimately, we're all here for what we're trying to achieve with higher education here is to be trained to be positive forces of change in the world, to think critically about what is happening around us, to be sensitive to other people's point of view, and to speak out for human rights. And I think both Parker and I would agree that that is fundamentally what we're trying to do here.
Do you think there's a time where Parker will feel like he's safe again on Columbia's campus?
I certainly hope so, and that is how it should be, and that is the responsibility of the campus, is to make sure that both Parker and all the student body and the protesters feel safe on campus.
Parker, what will it take for you to return back to campus?
I think first it requires a large sum of accountability from our administration and making a broad statement about anti-Semitism. I think they've made statements about how students might be experiencing these different things, or how rising conflict on campus, or how relationships have been strained. We've been using very flowery language coming from our administration, but no one from the administration has taken a concrete stance where the message is, we don't want anti-Semitism to go on our campus. And I think that's something, there needs to be accountability within there, but also needs to be accountability within our security forces on campus. There are Jewish students reaching out to public safety on our campus, reaching out to the large presence of NYPD on the streets, asking for support. And they're telling us they don't know what to do. They don't know how to help us. It's not our problem. And so we're dealing with these issues all on our own, where the only support and resources we have are from our own religious life. And so for me to come back to campus, and I think for a lot of other Jewish students to come back to campus, first and foremost, it requires Columbia to gain accountability and take accountability for their actions. It also requires for individuals on the other side of the aisle, specifically those that are out on the streets, not even in campus, to allow us to engage in the dialogue where we feel that we're able to be welcome and respecting these conversations, and that our identities don't immediately make us a target for harassment, or we're told that we're not welcome in this conversation, or that just because we're Zionist or pro-Israel or Jewish, that they don't want us in these conversations. And so I think when we have that level of welcomed knowledge and the ability to partake in that dialogue, and the university encourages this level of discussion, that's when Jewish students can finally come back to campus and engage in this critical conversation about how can we address these geopolitical issues that are facing and challenging our generation.
Parker to Deker, we appreciate your time. Nadia, Ali as well. I hope we can get to a place where you guys can both have your protests, but also students can feel safe at the same time. We thank you again for your time for coming here.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app, or follow us on social media.